Hello and welcome to an emergency episode of the Daily Expresso. I'm JJ Anisiobi and this is Mark Dolan. Mark, craziness. Starmer has resigned. He is out.
That's exactly right. And we saw this coming. The man has been on political death row for months now. I think that a couple of really decisive things happened this year. The May local elections, which was a total evisceration. And then, of course, the resignation of the Defence Secretary, John Healey, with a man that said the true bit out loud, which is, you are not fit to be Prime Minister because you are not protecting the security of this nation. And then, of course, one other small factor, the arrival of Andy Burnham in the House of Commons. He's going back into Parliament on Monday. He won the Makerfield by-election. Normally what keeps Prime Ministers in post when they're unpopular is the absence of a rival. An obvious candidate that the party can unite around, because as you know, party politics is incredibly factional.
Yep.
The Tory party and Labour in particular are actually broad coalitions. And that's why the incumbent often survives, because half the backbenchers will be supportive of this figure. Whereas Burnham, I think, there are parallels with perhaps Boris in the aftermath of Theresa May's premiership, when he was a figure that the party united around. And that figure now is Andy Burnham. And yes, R.I.P. Keir Starmer. But I got to say, JJ, given his less than 2 years in office, what he's done to the country, for me, it's not goodbye, it's good riddance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Starmer is possibly the most disliked Prime Minister we've ever had in this country. But he inherited an NHS that was in tatters. It still is in tatters, but the wait lists have fallen.
100%.
He introduced workers' rights, nationalising rail operators, improved relations with the EU, which some of you listening and watching are not going to like at all.
I want worse relations with the EU. I want them to stop returning our phone calls.
I only want to have good ties with France. The rest, and Mallorca.
Is that because France? What is it? The food? Is it the menu?
Food,
the baguettes?
It's Nice. It's south of France. Keep France and keep Spain. The rest of Europe, see you later. Not interested. Especially Germany. They're so smug. Those Germans.
Well, Mrs. Dolan is German, so I better be careful what I say.
She's half German. The other half is Austrian. Don't forget.
Exactly.
And I've asked you to do her
And
DNA.
I won't tell you which half I like better.
Did you do the lineage test?
No. Well, I believe she's descended from the traveller community, and may God bless her for that.
Really?
Yeah. So she's got a lovely. I mean, Mrs. Dolan. You've not met her.
No, I've heard about her.
She has an unusual look.
She's got a little bit of facial hair.
It's not for everyone. Conventionally beautiful, but character. JJ, the United Kingdom has just lost its Prime Minister. I wonder whether we need to get back on track.
Yes, absolutely.
Call me old-fashioned.
Andy Burnham, I was going to come on this show and say, right, it's going to be Burnham versus Streeting, but just before we came on, Streeting has backed out. That little snake of a man. He was gunning for Prime Minister, and now he's saying, no, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to back Andy Burnham.
Well, I think your readers at the Express and our audience on the Daily Expresso are sick and tired of career politicians, of these opportunists. And actually, you can go through the list. Boris Johnson, who wanted, when he was a kid, I want to be world king, you know. And he coveted the job of Prime Minister. And I think, okay, great that he got Brexit done, but the rest of it, not so much. The same thing with Keir Starmer. This guy was leader of the opposition for years.
Yeah.
And yet, no plan on entering number 10. And we've got the same type of personalities in Burnham and Wes Streeting. They're just climbing the greasy pole. And I think that our viewers know that. People can see that. And it's a real worry. That's why Farage is popular and why he's got a bedrock of support. And of course, might be a good opportunity to mention that we have an exclusive on the Expresso.
Yes, you do.
Coming tomorrow,
That's
Nigel
right.
Farage sit down in Clacton with his views on the future. But anyway, cut long story short, they're as bad as each other. You know, Starmer, Burnham, and Streeting. What do they all have in common? People that just covet power for the sake of it. Do they care about Britain? Do they have a plan? I don't think so. I mean, we've had reports that Andy Burnham wants 3 months to get some ideas together.
Yeah. I think Burnham is going to be worse than Starmer.
Really?
I think he's going to be worse than Starmer. The first reason is that he's going to chuck out Rachel Reeves and he's going to, it seems likely he's going to put Ed Miliband in as Chancellor. The markets are going to revolt. We're going to lose jobs. It's going to put national security at risk, having Miliband in charge. It's a bad idea. And I think Britain is going to look back in 3 months' time and say, damn it, we've made a mistake. We should have kept Starmer instead of this madman.
Well, that is wild. I mean, that is damning that you will go on the record and say that Burnham will be worse than Starmer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think when it comes to the economy, you are bang on because we're already up to our neck in debt.
Yeah.
Just last month, we borrowed £23 billion just to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
And can I just remind the world that we're not in the middle of a pandemic.
Nope.
We're not currently, as a nation, at war with anyone else. We're not Ukraine or Israel.
Yeah.
So why are we borrowing at those rates? It should all come from national income and from the tax take. So, yeah, and what's going to happen now, as you say, that Burnham will inherit that mess. And he'll make it worse because the issue is that he was in Makerfield and his message, it was a very vague message, but it was about hope and it was about change. Well, that translates into more left-wing policies.
Yep. Raising taxes.
Right. The sort of people that are backing Burnham, you've got Clive Lewis. He's a nice guy. I've met him a few times, but he's very much on the left of the party.
Yeah.
You've got John McDonnell, who was Jeremy Corbyn's shadow chancellor. Yeah. He's celebrating this morning, right?
Radical.
Now, be afraid, be very afraid.
Yeah.
And then Rachel Maskell, who is a Labour MP that was on the record this weekend on the radio as saying that capitalism is not progressive. So this is a cheerleader for our next Prime Minister who essentially repudiates the idea of a market economy. And so you know, it's not hyperbole, it's not an exaggeration to say that things could be much worse when Burnham gets in. For example, he may tear up that manifesto commitment not to raise income tax, VAT or national insurance on workers.
Yeah.
Reason being, he's like, well, I'm the new guy, out with the old, in with the new. So you got to worry, don't you? Because I think what this government don't seem to understand is that we are reliant on Rolex-wearing financiers overseas. They're the ones who lend us the money to pay for the hospitals and the doctors and the salaries of the police and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And I think that the idea of Miliband in number 11 sends a shiver down my spine.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that he would be Britain's first net zero chancellor.
It's a nightmare.
So what you're giving this guy is the keys to the safe, as it were, or the cash register. And he's going to splash the cash on his green vanity project, and it's a real worry. The other interesting thing, you mentioned that Wes Streeting is not going to run against Andy Burnham. That is incredibly cynical because it would be very healthy for the governing party to have a leadership election, to have the competition of ideas. But instead, what this is, it's a rubber stamp, or can I call a spade a spade? It's a stitch-up. This is a establishment stitch-up of the highest order. It's corruption. I think it's cloak and dagger stuff, It's men in smoky rooms. By the way, how hilarious and ironic that once again Labour fails to elect either a person of colour or a woman. And they're the wokies.
Yeah.
They're the good people, JJ. Don't forget that. The Tories. How many women now? I've lost count of how many female leaders
Too many if you ask me, mate.
After my remarks about Mrs. Dolan, I keep my counsel on that. We've had
Theresa?
We've had two leaders of colour, and by the way, who I think are both outstanding people, Sunak and Badenoch.
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Thatcher, Liz Truss, and Kemi, all of the female persuasion.
Liz Truss.
And Liz Truss. Labour, another washed up middle-aged bloke.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't care, by the way. I don't think you care about skin colour.
I don't care.
But can we take no lectures now?
Yeah.
From these lefties.
Well, listen.
About box ticking.
Mark, it gets worse for Burnham. Now he's going to be the leader. He's going to be Prime Minister. This is the sickening secret that he does not want anyone to talk about. And Reform have been talking about it, and they're going to hammer him with this every single week at the dispatch box. I'm sure of it. Burnham's been accused of betraying the victims of the grooming gangs. Because when he was working under Blair in the Home Office, he was part of the team who stopped a lot of the investigations. Part of the team who said, well, Operation Augustus has been running. Nah, stop that. We're not investigating that anymore. That is part of Burnham's legacy, and he does not want the country knowing about this.
He doesn't, and it's one of the greatest crimes in the history of this country. And without making this political, it's worth noting that so many of these crimes happened in Labour-controlled local authorities and constituencies.
Yep.
The reason why that matters is because a decision to look the other way as these crimes happened was inherently political, or should I say politically correct. Because of the ethnicity of some of these monsters, they enjoyed protection. And that's why you have to look at background, ethnicity, employment, age, gender, everything. And Burnham is quite provably part of a progressive left establishment that looked the other way. Now, is he exclusively responsible? Is it all his fault? No. But symptomatic of an attitude that has seen upwards of 250,000 girls attacked in the most brutal way in ways that we cannot describe on a family show like this. So what you would like in a future prime minister is somebody that did everything they could to stop this. Burnham is not one of those people.
He is not. And yet he is most likely to be our next prime minister. I think it's going to be worse than Starmer. I'm saying that on the record. It's going to be worse than Starmer, and Labour should just call a general election.
That's what the public wants. Because we didn't vote for Andy Burnham.
No, exactly.
And what is a complete paradox is that there is a manifesto, and you had a campaign led by Keir Starmer. He became prime minister. So that's it's his 5 years, and he's had that taken off him. Well, if Andy Burnham is promising change, which he is, how do you promise change whilst honouring the manifesto?
Yeah.
Well, you could call it a paradox. Actually, more accurately, it's a fudge or even a lie. Because if you say, I am Mr. Change, but by the way, here's the stinky old dusty manifesto.
Yeah.
And the reason why he can't tear up the manifesto is because if he does, he is required to call an election that he doesn't want because, hey presto, he wants to be prime minister and he wants the chauffeur-driven car and he wants the money and he wants the acolytes. And these people, and that's what I mentioned earlier, and I will include Boris in this, right? Apart from the triumph of Brexit, and well done, and for that, brilliant. But Boris, Streeting, Starmer, Burnham, self-serving, narcissistic grifters at the top of government, leading the greatest nation on earth. The problem we got with many more prime ministers like this, we won't be the greatest nation on earth anymore. We'll be down the toilet.
Burnham will be our 7th prime minister in 10 years. That's bonkers.
Well, if that was a company, it would be a distressed business, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine if John Lewis or ICI or Apple went through 7 bosses in 10 years? You'd be like,
do not sully John Lewis's name like that. I love that shop.
Well, I'd like you to know I'm clad in John Lewis as we speak. I've been paid to mention them. £8,500. None of these clothes fit me. I don't like them. I've actually got a rash, but I need the money because of gambling debts.
Marky Mark, we'll call it a day there.
Yeah, huge news.
Huge news. And that was our emergency episode. So bye-bye. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the hype button. Tell your friends about us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Are you looking for ways to protect your wealth in these uncertain times? Well, might I suggest you check out the Pure Gold Company. The Pure Gold Company was voted the UK's best gold broker. They are leading specialists in physical gold and silver. So whether you're planning for the future, diversifying your portfolio, or simply want the security of owning real precious metals, their expert team can help guide you every step of the way. Gold coins minted by the Royal Mint are free of VAT and capital gains tax in the UK, and you can see it, touch it, hold it, store it under your bed if you want to. Visit the Pure Gold Company today and tell them JJ sent you.